Nah. Just nah. Hey guys, it's Podge, and in this video we're going to be going over the patch notes for Path of Exile 3.10 Delirium League. But I have to admit I am not keen on reading through every single ounce of this to you, so what I've done is I've made a trusty notepad TLDR rundown for you guys. It's not super long, so that's good. I basically cherry picked what I think are the notable things that are worth sharing, and we'll go through them together, and hopefully it won't take too long. So buckle yourselves in, cowboys. All right, anyway, so Delirium League obviously comes with patch 3.10. Spooky smoke and spooky monsters, and get excited about that. Cluster jewels added. They're adding 280 new notables to the tree. For context, there was 350 existing notables on the current skill tree, so it's a pretty huge jump in build flexibility that we're getting here. They're adding delirium orbs, turning maps into delirium maps, kind of like what I imagine like blighted maps are. So it's just a giant delirium is your map essentially, which is pretty cool. Simulacrum is a new boss. We haven't seen much of him besides what's in the trailer. And yeah, so that's pretty exciting too. New skills and supports have been added: Arcane Cloak, Stormbind, Kinetic Bolt, Blade Blast, Archmage support, Spellslinger support, Second Wind support, which is like sort of unannounced, but it gives +1 charge to charge skills and increases cooldown recovery for those skills too, so it's good for something like Flame Dash. They've also added 16 new unique items, which we don't have a lot of info yet. There are some on the Path of Exile website, but that's all we've got as far as I'm aware. And 8 new divination cards, which is pretty cool. Changes to Atlas. They've added deterministic Conqueror spawning, so it's no longer an RNG grindfest. You get a little bar next to your Atlas Watchstone sockets, where you can basically track your progress in terms of spawning Conquerors, which is pretty damn great. Atlas mission chance lowered to 35% from 40% on completing a map. So basically your chance to get like Nico and Einhar and like those sort of people, added map missions for those are is a bit lower. I'm not sure why they needed to do that. I guess maybe it was a bit too strong. Maybe we were engaging with that content too much, apparently. Awakening level is now based on the total number of Watchstones socketed in all regions divided by 4, rather than having them getting one awakening level when you had 4 in one region, 4 Watchstones socketed in one region. It's actually a really good change because it means your progression is more linear rather than just like exponential, which is pretty damn great for most of us. Map drop chance no longer granted from awakening bonus objectives, still higher than it was in 3.9 though. So for those of you complaining that it's going to be harder to sustain maps, it will be, but it's not going to be hard to the point where it's going to be very noticeable, I don't think, but we'll have to wait and see. Metamorph is core at 10% chance in maps. We already knew that. It's pretty damn cool. I did like Metamorph as a league, but not everyone did, but whatever. Valside areas now count as maps and can drop maps. That's pretty damn good for your map sustain. Almost makes them worth running now. Almost. Nah, probably will, especially just for solo self-found players trying to get those Val skill gems. It's definitely worth it. Scorch, Brittle, and Sapped buffed. It has a longer duration. I think it was from 2 seconds is now 4 seconds, and has an increased maximum effect. So that's pretty good. Might see those come into play a bit more now. We'll have to wait and see. So for skills, animate weapon rework to work with blade spells, which is pretty damn nifty for sustaining them on bosses. They've been rebalanced due to the minion damage multiplier on the gem itself not working previously. So apparently they weren't even aware that it wasn't working. But to compensate for that, they've reduced the maximum amount of minions you can have from 20 down to 14, which is, if they do more damage now, it doesn't really matter. It just means it's easier to sustain them. Totems and ballistas have 50% more life, except for ancestor totems, decoy totems, and holy flame totems. It's great for spell totems and like obviously ballista totems. I think that was the main sort of issue since the bow reworked, was that the totems were too squishy and they just died all the time. So Arctic Breath was nerfed, and I'm not really sure why. I didn't see a lot of people using that personally, but you know, I guess it needed it. Blade Vortex, Blade Fall, Ethereal Knives now all work with Blade Blast, so they can all trigger from Blade Blast, which is damn exciting. I'm really keen to try it out. Dash now has 60% increased distance at level 20, which is actually going to make it probably competitive because the cooldown on Dash is quite low. So, you know, maybe it'll become a good skill to use. You know, we'll have to see. Explosive Arrow has been buffed. It has 3% more hit damage per fuse now, whereas previously it used to only be for ignites, but it has got a smaller AoE, so it's a more concentrated burst of damage now. I still think it's going to be pretty good though. Flame Blast AoE nerfed for low investments. Not sure why they did that, but gains AoE faster, so getting cast speed is a lot more beneficial for it now. Herald of Agony has been nerfed, which we definitely saw that coming for sure. It's way too strong for way too long, so I think it wasn't nerfed by enough, I don't think, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Lightning Warp now has a faster cast time and a reduced duration, which is very good. Could be a viable option again, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. Pyroclast Mine nerfed. Definitely still strong skill mind, but it has had its damage chopped quite a lot. +2 projectile enchant now gone, is now only 1, which I still think it's going to be fine. It did disgusting damage before, so I think it's just going to bring it back down in line with other skills. So that's an okay change for me anyway. Spectres now level 76 from level 80, so they've got a bit of a nerf. But I still think they're going to be fine. Minions are pretty overpowered as they are. So, raised zombies have -1, so like there's one less zombie that you can have at your maximum now. But obviously they can still be increased by, you know, other sources like, you know, items and whatnot. So it's not that bad really. Shield Charge had its AoE doubled. I guess if you wanted to use Shield Charge as a damaging ability, it's now probably a lot easier to do that. Spirit Offering was gutted, now longer grants Energy Shield and has less Chaos Resistance. I think it now grants 20%, down from 30%. And Skeletons were absolutely freaking destroyed. They now do 40% less damage, and there is -1 to the maximum number of them that you can have, so still going to be good, not going to lie. They're still going to be strong, but just not as broken as they were before. Support balance. Ballista Totem, 33% less damage from 41% less, so they've got more life now, and they do a bit more damage, which is pretty good. Could actually be potentially like an alright league starter if you can get a good bow. Feeding Frenzy nerf doesn't grant more minion damage while you have Feeding Frenzy anymore, but the chance to gain it has now gone up from 25% to 44%. Unleash support deals 11% less damage when recurring from 26%, which is obviously a 15% more damage buff. And for Awakened Unleash, it now has 8% less for the reoccurring skill from 23%. So that's pretty damn strong now. Not that it wasn't before, but you know. Skill tree. Wandslinger now grants increases and reductions to spell damage applied to wand attacks. We sort of already knew that, but that's probably the only one that I think is worth mentioning. The other ones are just like, oh, this node's moved here, this one's got like 2% more AoE, like, you know, whatever. It's not really like super like standouty, to me at least. Ascendancy Balance. This is interesting. So Necromancer, Bone Armor nerfed, now grants 0 elemental resistance per minion. So that's a bit ouchies, but it has been compensated by giving Commander of Darkness 10% more all resistance, from 20% now to 30%. So that's pretty good. They've just kind of shifted it across a bit, I think. Assassin Opportunistic, 25% more damage from 20%. Ambush and Assassinate, also 25% from 20% more. So those are like a bit stronger now. But Mistwalker has been nerfed by 5% increased attack and cast speed from previously, and so has Elusive. I'll go into that later for sure. Guardian Radiant Faith nerfed 10% energy shield from reserved mana to allies from 15%. So your mana guardians, you know, aura bots and whatnot, like just a little bit weaker than they were before, which, you know, is fine, I think. Noteworthy unique balance. We've got the Savior. Mirages can now bypass cooldowns and use charges. So for like Flicker Strike and stuff, they can you know, use charges to bypass the cooldown on that, which is pretty good. Might make them a bit more solid. And apparently they also have a new visual effect, which is kind of cool. Like, I'm interested to see what that looks like. Fate of the Vaal has 30% increased base top end physical damage and 20% bottom end, I think, increased. So it's pretty strong now. Aron's Heritage has been nerfed. It now has +2 to maximum resists from 3%. Crown of Eyes has the same effect as before, but at 150% of its value. So I don't know if that's strong enough that we'll actually see use of it now, but, you know, possibly. I feel like they could have done something a bit more special with it, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Chains of Command has been updated to be in line with the new anime weapon changes, so that's to be expected. You know, it's not going to use the old system. Yeah, if the skill's been changed. Baron, +1 zombies per 500 strength from 300, so that is a huge nerf. So yeah, definitely an ouchies to the Baron, but, you know, it's probably still going to be strong if you can get enough strength. Other mods now have a range, so yeah, they are sort of worth divining now, I guess. Death's Harp crit multi cut in half from 100 to 50. Not sure why, but I'm not sure also, but it could probably be the same with Opus, with Death's Opus. So, you know, maybe that bow was too strong for some reason. Soul Ripper now has 40 to 90 maximum charges and consumes maximum charges on use, granting Vaal souls equal to the consumed charges. Unsure if this is like replacing other mods or if it's just to go alongside them, but it could be pretty good for like bossing and stuff. Yeah, if you want to, you know, keep your Vaal skills up for bossing, it might be all right. Have to see. And some other changes, some item filters which filtered by area level will now correctly work in the Azurite Mine. Incursion, most rewards buffed, finally, thank God. More monsters in most rooms, better room mechanics. So I think, like, for example, Breach, Tier 1 Breach actually has a breach in it now, rather than just some of those, like, clasped hand things. And yeah, and they get more and more as, you know, you rank up the rooms. I might make a video on this in the next few days, outlining these changes a bit more, because there's quite a lot there that they've changed, so we'll probably see a video from that too, so stay tuned. Ashling Betrayal rewards buffed. She now gives double veiled items rather than just single ones, which is kind of nice. And Mastermind can drop Metamorph Scarabs. So there you go. That was my TLDR breakdown of the patch notes. Those are the changes that I think, for me, stand out the most. If there are any that you think that you know, I should have included, or, you know, that you want to bring to my attention that you think definitely was worth mentioning, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, guys, I'll be streaming the league start on twitch.tv podge92. Yeah, so definitely check me out there, guys, and remember to like the video and click subscribe as well if you want more Path of Exile news, build guides, things like that. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Peace.